Hello friends and welcome to Whispering Waters Homestead. For those of you that are new here, my name is Angela, and for those of you who are not, welcome back. I'm so glad you could join me today. So if you have followed my Facebook page, I have been talking about this recipe that I wanted to share with you guys for a couple of weeks. I ended up not getting to film it when I wanted to, and today I have been out in the garden already working in the greenhouse, so you'll have to excuse me. I am a little messy, but I did put on my apron to cover up any kind of dirt I might have got on me while I was working out in the greenhouse. But anyways, today I am going to share with you a lemon zest dandelion petal shortbread cookie recipe. I have never made this before, but as soon as I saw this, I come across this scrolling through Facebook one day, and I have been excited and wanting to make it ever since. So I thought that this would be a great time to just kind of show you guys a little something different that is on the homestead. You're used to seeing me doing gardening and herbalism and things like that, which in a way this has a little bit of herbalism mixed into it with the dandelion petals. But I just thought it would be something super fun to share with you guys. So let's get started. So the first thing for this recipe is we needed 1 cup of unsalted butter. I've already got like 1 stick in here, which I'm just using sticks. So it takes 2 sticks to equal 1 cup. And you want to have that soft to room temperature. So I've had this sitting out on my counter since early this morning while I was sitting out on the porch watching the sunrise and drinking my coffee. I was letting my butter soften, but as you can see, there's already 2 sticks in here, so that is equal to 1 cup. The next thing we need to do is we are going to add in 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. And then finally, we're going to be doing, it's 2 tablespoons of lemon zest, and that's probably not quite 2 tablespoons of lemon zest, but honestly, I only had 2 lemons, and it's pretty close. And for most of you guys, I'm sure, who have a homestead or just bake or whatever, you're kind of like me, and you know, sometimes you can just kind of guess. So we're going to add that in, and of course, clean hands. I washed my hands, cleaned my counter, all before I got started. And then what we're going to want to do is we're going to take the mixer and we're actually going to cream all of this together real quick. So basically we just mixed that together with the electric mixer until it was kind of like fluffy. And I need to grab a spatula real quick so I can scrape down my sides a little bit. But so this is just like a nice fluffy consistency, as you can see. Yeah. So now that we've got this basically how we want it, we are going to go in and add 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, which this is some vanilla extract that my sister-in-law made for me a couple years ago, and I absolutely love this. So I'm just going to do like I said, the recipe calls for 2 teaspoons. I'm going to do a couple droppers full. Can't hurt, hopefully. And then it calls for a couple of teaspoons of lemon juice as well. I'm just going to squeeze this lemon in because like I said, I've already used these for the zest, and so I'm going to not waste my lemon and go ahead and use it for the juice. Got a seed in there. I want to get that seed out because I don't think that would be very good in my cookies. And then I'm just going to mix all of that together really good, stir it up. These seeds, you know, maybe I should just strain that. Hindsight's 20/20, right? But I probably should have strained that lemon juice through a strainer so I could catch those seeds and they wouldn't fall down inside of my butter and cream. right, so I'm just mixing that all together. Make sure it's all stirred in very good. As you can see, it's just so nice and creamy. It already looks good. One thing I really like about this is it's a extremely simple recipe. I've never made shortbread, so this will kind of be a new experience for me, but so far, not too difficult. Now, the last thing that we add in to our shortbread dough is going to be 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And then we are going to add in about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of these lovely little dandelion petals. Aren't they so cute? And you want to, when you're doing your dandelions, you want to get mostly just the petals, not the green. The green on a dandelion is very bitter. So you just want to try to get basically the yellow petals, which the yellow parts of the petals can be pretty sweet. So like I said, we're going to do about 1/4 to 1/2 cup, and then I'm going to save a few of these, maybe when I do the decorating part after they're cooked, which I'll show you guys that too. We might use a little bit of these to kind of make them pretty and decorative. So I'm just going to mix this a little bit first with my spatula, and then I'll go in with the mixer and blend it a little more. I'm just trying to scrape the sides down. So with this being a shortbread, there's no eggs in this dough, and it's going to be a drier dough too. It's kind of like reminding me of a pizza crust. Pizza kind of sounds pretty good, actually. Okay, focus. I need to focus, not on pizza, on cookies. I'm making cookies. Okay, scrape this off to get all of my dough in here that I possibly can. I'm gonna try to use this mixer. If that doesn't work well, then I'll probably just use my hands, honestly. We'll see. Okay, so that just kind of made like a really flaky looking dough. I think basically I'm just gonna have to put this form it with my hands and put it out on the counter to finish it up. Let me move my little notes there. So with the shortbread, yeah, so once I start squishing this with my hands, you can see it's sticking together really well. So with the shortbread, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna form this into kind of like a log. And then we will wrap it in some cling wrap, and it's going to get refrigerated for a few hours to let it really firm up and get hard. And that way it'll make it easier for us when we go in to slice our cookies. We can just come right in and slice them up, which I'm just going to pour this out on the counter and form up this dough log. Right. So yeah, interesting texture. Again, like I said, I have never made shortbread, so wasn't really sure what to expect with it. This said that this makes about 18 cookies. I'm assuming that it would be more so just what size your log is and what size you want your cookies to be. So I'm going to try to get as many as I possibly can, because we have such a hard day today working, and so I've already got like some sun tea brewing on the porch, and I wanted to make these cookies. Jeff is out working on the grain bin silo build, and so it's extremely hot today, and I just thought this would be like just a nice little treat at the end of the day with the tea and some of the cookies. I just think it would be a nice little treat for us. We'll sit on the porch later on this afternoon and enjoy our cookies and our sun tea. Okay. All right, so that looks pretty good, I think. I'm trying to get it maybe just a little bit thinner here in the center because it's kind of bulkier here. It's kind of hard to roll, like I'm finding that out. Like I said, this is the first time I've made this recipe. I think you could probably also roll this out if you had some cookie cutters that you wanted to make, you know, cute little shapes or whatever. I think you could just do that as well. You could flatten it all out and make a cookie cutter designs. That would probably be fun with kids. All right, guys, I'm gonna grab my cling wrap and I will be right back and we will wrap up this dough log. All right, so we've got some plastic wrap here out on the counter, which I just feel like cling is my arch nemesis, I'm telling you. I don't like using it, but anyway, I have to for this recipe, so we're going to. All right, so I'm just gonna roll that up into the wrap, and actually that's helping it to stick together so I can kind of make it more of a round log instead of a like squarish type log. So I actually made a pretty good sized dough log, and I can see just the tiny little specks of the dandelion petals in there, so that's really very cute. And then I don't know if you guys can see that, but there are these little tiny specks of the dandelion petals in there. All right, guys, so I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for a few hours. I have a lot of work to do outside, so I'm going to clean up this mess. We're going to refrigerate this, and then I will be back here in a few hours, and we will get these baked and decorated. All right, guys, so it has been several hours since I've been on here with you. I've been out in the greenhouse. I've been up potting and reseeding some things that didn't take real well for some of my plant starts, but our dough log is nice and chilled and firm, so it is ready to slice. And then so we're just going to slice that up, place it on our baking sheet that we have lined with parchment paper. The oven is preheated to 350 degrees. And once we get these on our sheet, we're gonna pop them in the oven for about 20 minutes or until they start to get a little bit golden brown. So I'm gonna take my dough out of our plastic wrap. And hopefully these will slice up pretty easy. This was a pretty crumbly type dough, being that this is the shortbread. So I'm thinking that the chilling will help that. And I believe we're going to cut these to about probably 1/4 inch thick. Slice them pretty easy. Again, they don't have to be perfect. We don't work in perfection around here. There's just not enough time for that. One thing I am trying to do, though, as much as I can, is to keep them as consistently about the same depth and size, so that we can cook evenly. I'm going to go ahead and start placing them on the parchment paper, probably about, I don't know, 1 inch apart is what I'm going to try to do. The recipe said this makes about 18 cookies, so that's a pretty good bit. I mean, if you're going to do all the work, it's great to have a decent amount to eat. Yeah, this is slicing really nice. I think I'm going to have to use 2 pans, actually. Yes, I am. Okay, I gotta get another pan. Give me just 1 minute. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have another baking sheet lined with parchment paper ready to go now. I'm surprised at how well this is slicing, and definitely needing another pan is not a bad problem to have when it comes to cookies. Usually less is more, but in this case, when it comes to cookies, more is definitely more. We like cookies around this place. I can smell the lemon. that we put in the cookies, the lemon juice and the lemon zest. I can smell that. It smells delicious. I can smell that slight hint of the dandelion in there as well. And of course, the butter. I have a feeling that these are going to turn out really nicely. Slice the end. Perfect. So let me just show you one of these up close. So you can see the little tiny specks in there. That's the dandelion petals, but they're about this thick and a cute little shape. And then we're going to do a little bit of decoration on these once they're baked. So I will bring you guys back here in about 20 minutes or until these are starting to get a little bit golden. Then we'll come back and I'll show you the last little finishing touches that we're going to put on our cookies. So I'll be right back. Okay, friends, so while our cookies are baking, I actually got some of these vanilla flavored baking chips, and I'm going to melt that down, and when the cookies come out, I'm actually going to drizzle that over top of the cookies and then maybe sprinkle on a little bit of the dandelion petals onto the chocolate, because I think that would add like a really neat touch. But you could do, I mean, you could put any kind of melting chocolate you would want to put on there. I'm sure you could top them with like a jam or a jelly. I could see like on top of your chocolate putting a little violet on there. That would be really, really pretty. So I think you could just let your imagination kind of run wild with what you would want to decorate the cookies with. So I'm just going to melt down this white chocolate, and that way as soon as the cookies come out of the oven, we will drizzle that on and get some cute little decoration and added little taste to our sweet little treat here. So I'll see you guys back in a minute. All right, you guys, so the cookies are done and they turned out really, really nice. I can show you, I pick one up so I can show it to you a little bit better because I know it might be hard to see, but you can see all the little tiny specks in there are the dandelion petals. And I just cooked it until the bottom was lightly golden brown. And now what I'm gonna do, I've got the chocolate all melted up and I'm actually gonna paint it onto the cookies. It didn't get the consistency that I wanted it to for being able to go in and drizzle it. So I'm just gonna base it on like I would some barbecue on a steak, but we're gonna do white chocolate on the shortbread cookies. These actually smell delicious. I can smell the lemon in them. I can smell the butter, which, you know, who doesn't like butter? I mean, there might be some people out there that don't like butter, but I'm not one of them. I can tell you that right now. I love butter. But I'm just gonna kind of lightly like base the tops of each one of these. Turned out with the way I cut them, and I'm sure it's going to be a little bit different depending on how big you cut the cookies, but for me, I cut them and I ended up with 28 cookies, so I was pretty happy about that. I thought that was a good amount. But yeah, these are really cute. This will be a really fun activity, I think, to do with kids, to teach them about wild edibles and medicinal plants, and how, you know, usually when I'm working with plants, a lot of times I am, you know, making a tincture or a tea or a salve or a decoction of some sort. But, you know, all of these plants, like, you can do a lot of fun stuff in the kitchen with them too. You know, we've been cooking for years with medicinal plants, you know, such as like cinnamon and sage and thyme. I mean, all of those have wonderful health benefits to the body, and dandelion as well. But, you know, normally when we think of herbalism, you know, we're mostly thinking of, you know, tinctures and teas and things like that, but we can cook with these things as too. And it's, as long as you're getting it into the body. I mean, it doesn't really matter how you get it in there, as long as you're getting it into the body. But I think this would be a really fun way to introduce kids into to doing wild edibles and making things. Because what kids don't like cookies? I mean, there might be some kids out there that don't like cookies, but I doubt it. For that case, most adults really like cookies too. But yeah, oh, these are so cute. Like, actually the basting added a little design onto the cookies. I'm trying to work a little bit fast because I don't want my chocolate to get too cooled off. But yeah, how cute. Look how cute. Oh, okay. And so then I'm going to take and put a few of the dandelion petals, just kind of like, I'm going to try to see if I can sprinkle it on the top. I don't know if it's going to work out or not. It's kind of getting clumpy because I got chocolate all over my hands. But we'll put a few on there. We'll try it and see if we can make it look cute or not. I'm not sure. It doesn't look like it's working very well, to be honest. Oh, there we go. I think I'm figuring out what to do. So yeah, very, very cute. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this other pan real quick before my chocolate begins to cool off, and then I'll be right back. I've got the second pan of cookies. And again, we're just gonna baste them. Smells so good. I know, I think I've said that a few times. Sorry. But they do. They smell so good. And the little dandelion pieces baked into them are so cute. I can see the little petals, and I think they're just adorable. I mean, like I said, I could totally see like topping each one of these with like a wild violet flower, or even like some jam of some sort out of your garden. You could put a little dollop of that on them. Many little things you could do. Actually, like I said earlier, I think too, and I don't have any, but if I did, I would absolutely add some of that lemon zest. I would probably sprinkle that on top of this chocolate because I think that would be delicious. And I do think I'm going to save a couple of these, and I'm just going to drizzle some honey over top of them. But I do want to use up as much of my chocolate as I can. We don't want to waste chocolate. No. We do not waste chocolate around here. Well, white chocolate's not really chocolate, but you know what I'm saying. We're gonna call it chocolate, okay? Okay. These are just lovely. Take a couple more and sprinkle on some of these dandelion flowers. I want to try just a few different ways of doing it, like some with the dandelion flowers, some of them without, some of them just plain. And then, like I said, we'll put the honey on a couple of them. These are still warm. They're kind of hard to pick up without them wanting to fall apart. Okay, let's grab some honey real quick and we'll drizzle a couple of these with honey. Just from the way that these smell, I can tell that honey would complement this very, very well. So just a dab, light drizzle on the top is what I'm going to do. We'll just do a few like that. Oh, these are so pretty. So here's one of them after we got the dandelion petals sprinkles on and the white chocolate. Aren't they just adorable? Like, just imagine a little wild violet flower right there. Would be so cute. So you could just totally play around with these, and I think that a kid would absolutely enjoy doing this. So let me show you one with just the honey drizzled on it. Like, super simple, but just a little bit of honey. Like I said, I can tell, like, just from smelling these, that the honey is going to be very complimentary to these. So the only thing left for us to do is taste them. And so I definitely want to do that while I have you guys on here. So let's see. Let's do one that has all the chocolate and the dandelions and everything on them. And they're still nice and warm. So let's give it a try. Wow. That has way more flavor than what I thought it was going to have. I can taste the lemon really nicely. So if you like lemon flavored baked goods, this is absolutely going to be something you're going to enjoy. Also, the the white chocolate adds just a little hint more of sweetness to it. These are not overly sweet, which is why I like shortbread for that reason. I don't like overly sweet cookies. Um, so these are about perfect for me. The texture is nice. They're not hard, but they're not like extremely gooey or chewy either. These will be amazing with coffee, hot chocolate, a nice hot herbal tea. I'm actually going to have them with some iced green tea and honey later. So yeah, these are really, really good. I do want to taste one with the honey real quick because I want to see if I'm right in my thinking that the honey would pair excellent with these. So let's test that too while I got you guys on here. I'm not making up excuses to eat more of the cookies or anything at all. Like, definitely not. I just wanted to, I'm doing this for you guys. Mmm. Oh, wow. Yeah, I might like the honey drizzle on even better than the chocolate. I guess it all just depends on like how sweet your taste buds are and like what you like, but I love like just a honey and a kind of mildly sweet cookie. So with that lemon in there, the honey pops. Like this is really, really good. So I think I actually like this a little bit more. Yeah, one more bite. Okay. So I'm gonna get these plated up. It is getting time for dinner here. Sorry. I'm trying to not talk to you guys with my mouth full of cookie, but it is getting time for dinner. We just need to wrap this day up. It has been a very long day, but a very productive day, and we are ending it on a nice, sweet note. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that I have inspired you to just get out in your yard, pick some edible things, and make some cool treats with it. Just, use your imagination, have a good time. And just go out there and see what you have in your yard and what you can do with it. It is super fun. This turned out amazing, so you never really know. But I am very happy that I did this, and I hope that I've inspired you to go do the same. So until next time, you guys have a blessed afternoon, and I will talk to you soon.